back to another video. My name is Alizaya and I'm here for Black Transsexual. Get up into the big prayer, whatever. I'm back. How y'all doing, girl? How you doing on this wonderful morning or night or whatever time you're watching this video, girl? Get up into the ghetto-ness or whatever. I want to sit over here and say thank you guys for all this love and support, girl. You already know we're having to push out this content for y'all. Boom shakalaka, girl. Bada bing, bada boom. Before we get into today's video, girl, because I know you guys seen the title on there, I'm going to be like, girl, what are we finna get into today, girl? I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe because you would never find another Black transsexual like me. Hello, hello, hello. I'm beautiful. You're beautiful. Get up into the big prayer, whatever. Go ahead and lock in on myself. So today's video is going to be about me sitting over here talking about why I left my toxic transphobic family back in 2024 or whatever. Just left them in the past, girl. Let's get up into it. I am the type of trans woman who stands on business and I don't play about my respect. And I've always said that. When I first came out of the closet, you know, and I had mixed reactions. First, my auntie was sitting over here saying that she wasn't going to tell my mother that I'm gay because the first person who I ever came out to that I remember is my auntie. And my auntie said she would never tell my mother. She would, you know, keep it between us. Then my mama storming in the room talking about, are you gay? Are you gay? What? Like, girl, what? I immediately said no, of course. But, you know, later on, of course, you know, I came out because look at me now. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, throughout the years or whatever, right, my family is the type of family that is very toxic, and I feel like my family is a damaged and broken family. Like, this is just a broken home I come from. My mother did a lot for me. I'm not going to excuse, I'm not going to act like she didn't do a lot for me. She did a lot for me. She put a roof over my head. She kept food in the fridge. She kept clothes on my back. She did a lot for me. You get what I mean? But me and my mother would argue all the time about me and my transness, me and my sexuality. She was like, are you sure you're gay? Are you sure, you know, what if I hook you up with a girl? And you know, me, I'm the type of person where I just know who I am, and I've always felt like this. I can't stand when people say that, like, you know, kids don't know when they're transgender. Kids don't just, you know, are born transgender. People can't just be born transgender. I don't understand those type of people who say that type of stuff because I don't feel that I was meant to be a guy, but I accept that I was born a guy. I accept that I was, you know, made in a different body. I had to accept it because I can't just live in a fantasy and act like you know, I don't want to even get into that because I've been controversial enough throughout this freaking channel. Yeah. But, like, I'm being honest, like, you know, my mother and my auntie and my granny used to sit over here and say that, you know, you would never be a girl. So don't be sitting over here going around saying that you're a girl, this and that. We accept you. Just don't be saying that you're a girl, this and that. And, you know, I don't understand how people can sit over here and say in the same breath that they support you and that they love you, but then would never respect your pronouns. And, you know, old me, you know, I used to be very big on, like, you know, respect my pronouns because it was a way for me to feel accepted. It was a way for me to feel pure. It was a way for me to feel like me. You get what I mean? I preach to all of my dogs and I preach to y'all to sit over here and not care about what people think about you because, to be honest with you, I know how it feels, and I know how it feels to be judged. I know how it feels for people to sit over here and talk about you and to play in your face. You get what I mean? And I know how it feels to feel lonely. I felt like back when I was, you know, living with my auntie, when my mama flipped over and died or whatever, right? You know, my auntie was very toxic and I didn't realize how toxic she was. My auntie used to sit over here and talk to me all types of crazy and talk to me like I was a stranger on the street. And it was so crazy to me because when I grew up, I used to sit over here and say that was my favorite auntie, you know, that was my favorite auntie, you know, at the cookout or whatever. You know how black households be when y'all have cookouts and stuff, like, girl, you know, you got that favorite auntie or whatever. I say this a lot. You don't know somebody truly until you live with them. And that was something that I had to experience. My auntie is the type of person who could not keep money in her bank account. And it would irritate me. It would irritate me so bad because she used to sit over here and blame me for the reason why the bills was getting cut off, which I don't understand because I'm working a 9-to-5 job. I'm busting my tail. And mind you, y'all, like, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I was sitting over here working like, damn near every day, and my checks would be like, only like $300 to $400, and she's talking about she wants me to give her $300 out of my check. You gotta be absolutely crazy. And then my auntie's a narcissist. Like, my whole family is narcissists. Like, I feel like nobody takes accountability for their actions and take accountability for the things that they do to you. You get what I mean? What my auntie would do is, when I would not sit over here and give her money, she'll sit over here and, huff and puff around the house talking about, oh, I'm broke. Oh, I'm broke. Mind you, my auntie's a whole manager at the time or whatever, right? So I'm not understanding how you're broke and you're a whole manager running a whole business. Girl, it don't make no goddamn sense to me. But like, to be honest with you, and let's get back on track, my auntie would sit over here and say that, she needs money. And so, me, I used to feel bad. So I used to throw her a little $100, $200, and that would leave me with like $200, $100 just to me. And then, I had to sit over here and buy, all this other stuff, like I had to, buy my makeup because, I can't sit over here and look dusty going to work. I had to, buy the essentials like Vaseline, skincare, because, y'all have eczema or whatever, right? So that still costs a pretty penny. Like, it costs like $50 a month. So, all this stuff adds up. I'm going back broke. And then, I used to want to sit over here and save. Like, I used to want to sit over here and save money so I don't have to live in her house. Because my auntie used to sit over here and say, and my mama used to say the same thing, when you turn 18, it's time for you to go. When you turn 18, I'm ready for you to go. And, she used to complain, telling me that I need to be saving so I can leave or whatever, right? But every time I turn a corner, and, every time it's, the next month, she's begging for money. And this is what I didn't understand about my auntie. When my mama died, y'all, I'm going to be honest with y'all. When my mama died, I got an SSI check or whatever, right? SSI, I'm gonna give you a little rundown. SSI is like like Social Security or whatever, and it's also like payments or whatever. You get a payment every month or whatever if you have a deceased relative, aka your mother or your guardian or whatever the hell it is or whatever, right? So I used to get a certain amount of money. So tell me why, because I had to go through this whole situation. Tell me why my auntie and my granny were receiving $600 to $700 a month. This is just a month, right? Receiving $600 to $700 a month. Okay, so add that up. Plus, my auntie was working nearly 40 hours a week, and her checks were $700. So add that up. Then my auntie was also taking money from my granny, because my granny, she's basically disabled. She's morbidly obese or whatever. Like, she's nearly casket ready. Like, girl, she's literally on her deathbed. She be boo-booing on herself. No tea, no shade. So she like brings in, SSI money too, because, she's old or whatever, right? So she brings in like, I think like $500, $600 as well. Add that up. Plus what I'm giving her, like $200 to $300. Add that up. My auntie's rent was only $600 to $700 a month. I don't remember. I think it was like $600 to $700 a month. Plus all the utilities and whatever, right? She would be left with a certain amount of money. My auntie could never pay her rent. And so we used to get in arguments because I would sit over here and tell her, I'm like, why are you not managing your money right? And she would be like, well, I wouldn't even have to go through this if you weren't in my house. And so when we get into arguments, I would sit over here and argue with her and sit over here and say that you don't need to be talking to me like this. And she's like, well, you don't even need to be gay. It's like every time you get into an argument with your family members, like my family, for example, they'll always throw it in my face that I'm gay, and they'll always throw it in my face that I'm going to HELL, which I don't understand that type of stuff. This is why I don't understand some Christians, and I don't mean to be, sent over here being hostile, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't understand a lot of Christians because I don't understand how you can say under the same breath that somebody's gonna go to HELL for something that, they can't control. I can't control who I was born as. I was born as Alizea. I just live my life as me. I choose to live my life as me authentically because I don't want to hide myself anymore. But like, I don't understand how you could say I'm going to HELL when I'm a nice, bubbly, kind, beautiful person. I give back to people. I'm very grateful for every situation I'm in. And You know, my auntie used to be very evil, and she used to be very fake. She used to talk about every coworker, every friend, every family member. Same with my granny. I feel like my granny and them, they were so toxic. Every time you talk about something, or every time you try to express your feelings, like when I used to be sitting over here saying that I'm feeling depressed or whatever, they'll sit over here and be like, you shouldn't be talking and saying that you're depressed. You should be looking on the right side, like dismissing my feelings and stuff. And then I don't understand, because like my granny, I'm gonna be a little, real with y'all. My granny used to be very, how do I say? I don't know if I could say this word, but she used to be very like evil back in the day. My granny, when she used to be able to walk and when she wasn't morbidly obese, she used to take care of my brothers or whatever. Because my mother, she had a lot going on in her life back in the day or whatever, right? So, my granny was taking care of them, and she used to sit over here and talk to them all types of crazies. She used to grab extension cords and wires and hit them with it and stuff like that. And she used to also sit over here and talk to them all types of crazy, leave them on the street or whatever, right? My granny didn't even feed my brothers from time to time. Like, she used to give them cold sandwiches and stuff. And mind you, she wasn't broke, because my granny used to have she used to have them trades or whatever. She used to live with like pimps and stuff. Like, girl, I don't know what happened back in the day, girl. It's giving your escort. Let me stop. So I'm gonna be honest with you and let me stay on track. My granny had a certain amount of money, and I felt like she never sat over here and took care of my siblings. And she always wondered, like, she used to be like, she used to always tell me this. She's like, I hope you never leave me. I hope you never sit over here and not talk to me anymore, this and that. I'm like, why do you say that? She's like, well, your brothers don't even come check on me. Your brothers don't even talk to me. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, have you even reached out to them? They're not obligated to just sit over here and talk to you. That's what I understand about a lot of people. A lot of people think the world revolves around them. The world does not revolve around you. I'm sorry to sit over here and burst your bubble, but it doesn't. You're gonna have to get up and sit over here and communicate with people. And that's something that I had to realize, especially with my friends. When I used to think that my friends were being real and phony, whole time they just got a lot of stuff going on in their personal life. But speaking with my granny, I didn't understand, because she used to literally not communicate with them. She used to literally not communicate with me. And this is what nailed the whole relationship in the coffin. My granny and my auntie, on prom night or whatever, right? I was in my dress. I was so 10 toes down. I was looking gorgeous, right? Y'all, I was trying to, go to prom or whatever, but I was trying to, take pictures as well, right? I wanted to take pictures before, the sun went down, because, when the sun goes down and you're black, it's not going to show up good on the camera, because, like, I'm dark skinned and I want you to see my face clearly. You get what I mean? But, like, seriously, like, I was trying to rush to sit over here and get to, the prom so I could go take my pictures or whatever. So I was trying to tell my auntie, like, come on or whatever, right? And she's like, don't rush me. If you keep rushing me, I ain't gonna take you. So I'm starting getting an attitude, but I'm just like, Alexander, just shut up or whatever, right? Just mind your business, right? So, we get in the car or whatever, right? Mind you, I had my old friend or whatever at the time. We're going to call her Ema or whatever, because it rhymes with her name. Ema's in the car with me, and she's in the back seat or whatever, right? So, my auntie is asking me, like, what's the address or whatever, right? So I'm trying to give her the address or whatever, right? But mind you, my granny's sitting over here trying to ask, oh, come here. I want to take one last picture or whatever. I'm like, Granny, please, come on. You already took enough pictures. Like, I need to go or whatever, right? She's like, no, please, come here. And I was like, oh my God, I can just send you some pictures. Like, girl, I got to go, like, now. Like, I really got to go. And so, I was ignoring her, but I was also getting frustrated because my auntie and my granny are all talking to me at the same time. I don't do well under pressure. So I'm starting to get overwhelmed or whatever, right? And so then that's when my auntie, she's like, if you don't sit over here and, put in the address, and she's talking to me all types of crazy. So I talk to her all types of crazy, because who is you talking to, right? So then she's like, you ain't gotta get smart with me. You trying to show out for your friends, I'm just like, no, I'm not trying to show out for my friends. Like, just don't talk to me all types of crazy, and I won't talk to you all types of crazy. This is why I say respect is earned, it's not given, because don't be talking to me all types of crazy. And people really think I be talking, people really don't listen to me and understand where I'm coming from when I be saying this type of stuff. But this is why I say respect is earned, because I'm not gonna sit over here and respect you if you're cussing me out and you're talking talking to me all types of ways. I don't care if you're family. I don't care if you're blood. I don't care if you're my friend. I don't care if you're my best friend. I don't care if you're my boss. Don't talk to me crazy. And I put that on my dead, deceased mother. So when she's talking to me all types of crazy, you know, she's like, if you say something again, I'm going to hit you or whatever, right? So I'm trying to sit over here and, you know, put in the address. I'm like, can I just, and then she just hit me in my face, right? So then, y'all, I couldn't do nothing but cry because I didn't want to sit over here and get kicked out because, you know, I'm already sitting over here arguing with my auntie. I'm just like, girl, I don't have time for this. And I don't do well under pressure. So now I'm crying. Now I'm starting to get overwhelmed or whatever. And now my nose is bleeding. My makeup is messed up because I'm crying. My nose is bleeding. And then she's sitting over here like, you just trying to show out. You just trying to show out. And she's getting loud and stuff. So mind you, now the neighbors is all out. And it's just so embarrassing or whatever, right? And my granny's on the front porch, right? And I'm like, you just gonna let her do this to me? You just gonna let her do this to me? And she's like, I don't know. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So that was the nail in the coffin of why I never wanted to speak to them again. That right there was the main reason why I deleted their numbers. I don't talk to them anymore. And my what do you call her? My cousin or whatever, right? This is my aunt's daughter. She always contacts me. She's like, you know, why don't you talk to mama? Why don't you talk to granny? You know, they be wanting to talk to you. They be wanting to check up on you, this and that. Well, if they want to check up on me so bad, why don't they call me? They got my number. Even though I blocked them, they still got my number. They got me on Facebook. You know, then go make a fake page or whatever, girl, if it's that serious. You get what I mean? Clearly, it's not that serious for you, like, da-da-da-da-da. And I feel like they only want to talk to me now that they see that I'm doing something and I see that I got motion. Because when I was doing TikTok, they only worried about money. They're like, so how much money are you making on TikTok? How much money are you doing? How do you got some money? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, girl, why are you always asking for money? Why don't you ask how my day going? Like, that's the main reason with my cousin now. I don't know if she's watching it. I don't think she's watching. I'm just gonna, you know, my little cousin or whatever, she's like 3 years younger than me or whatever. And she only talks to me when I have, like, when she needs $1. She only talks to me when she wants to sit over here and buy some pup pastors or whatever, right? I'm like, you don't want to sit over here and talk to me. You don't want to sit over here and, you know, ask me, like, how am I doing? Like, you're just only worried about money. I hate people like that. I hate people who just are so fake. I hate fake and phony people. And people always ask me, well, why don't you want to sit over here and try to rekindle your relationship with people? Some people just need to get left in the grave. Like, when they die, just leave them there. I don't want to go to their funeral. I don't want to sit over here and send my condolences. Let them die. They can die for all I care. And I used to sit over here and, you know, refer to my granny as dead and deceased because I see her as dead and deceased. I don't like her no more because I don't understand. And I know this video could come out controversial, but I don't understand how you could sit over here and say that you love me, say that you support me, but you're not going to defend me when you see that your daughter is just... I don't want to get mad, but I don't understand how you can let her do that. That just makes me so mad. And that's the problem with my mama as well. Like, I felt like I couldn't talk. And this is why I have bad communication skills now, because every time I would try to express my feelings and I would always try to express how I'm feeling and what I'm going through, they will always dismiss it. And I'm not trying to sit over and act like I'm talking back. And if you're living in a black household that's not from the suburbs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're trying to express something, you're trying to say something, and you're not trying to come off as, you know, talking back, but they're like, no, don't talk back to me. No, you're not right. I'm right. I'm right. Whatever I'm saying in this house goes in this house. These are my rules, and if you don't like my rules, you can get out. It's like, oh my God, why do you even have to say that? You're just so nasty and evil. And that's the main reason why I don't like my family now. And that's the main reason why I left my family alone. I'm sick of my family. I want to break the generational curse. I don't want to continue to sit over here and have that toxic mindset of what is right. I want to hear people out. Like, you know, I don't care if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong. I don't want to sit over here and have arguments, because I feel like everything that you're sitting over here arguing about could be solved easily by a conversation. You don't have to fight it out. You don't have to argue about it. You don't have to sit over here and have screaming matches and, like, you know, sit over here and hit each other. You could just talk it out. And that's what I wish I could do back in the day or whatever, right? And, you know, I do have my ups and downs, and I do have the positives with my auntie and my granny. Not really so much with my granny, because my granny used to be just so ghetto. I remember when my granny, like, back in the day or whatever, right? This was like, I say 2012 or whatever. I stayed with my granny back in Belton or whatever, right? And tell me why, you know, we accidentally broke a vase or whatever because we was laughing or whatever, and we was playing, me and my little cousin or whatever, right? Tell me why she sat over here and she made us go pick switches from the tree benches, right? And she whipped us so bad that it left scars. And mind you, she did this in front of the neighbors, right? She pulled, you know, like she pulled our trousers down and she, wow. That is ghetto. That is so ghetto. And then she laughed it off and she was like, oh, well, they should have never did that. They should have never did that. That's so weird. That's so weird. You could just told us to not do that. Like, that's just so weird to me. That's why I don't like that's why I don't like some of my family, because I don't feel like you need to be screaming at your kids. And I feel like my family is so toxic because with the kids now, like the younger generation, I feel so bad for them because they're getting constantly screamed at. Like with my Uncle Matthew, girl, I'm saying names now because I don't really care about him, girl. You know, he's, you know, yeah. But like my Uncle Matthew or whatever, he's a bum, no tea, no shade. And he doesn't have nothing going for himself. He's 30 years old, cheating on his girl like every single day, every other night, and she's constantly crying, talking about, why you keep cheating on me? Why do you keep cheating on me? I remember this night so vividly. It was the night my mama died or whatever, right? And my auntie couldn't take care of me, and she couldn't, you know, take me in that night because she had to figure herself out real quick, and it was a lot going on. So my Uncle Matthew and his baby mama let me stay over there for a night or whatever, right? I stayed over there for a night, but before I went into their house or whatever, right, we was on the way to McDonald's or whatever, right? And tell me why, y'all, this is so ghetto to me. They started having a screaming match because, you know, over some fries. She was like, I just want some fries. And he's like, you're too big to be eating fries. Number one, why are you calling your wife or your baby mama or your girlfriend big? Like, you know what that does to somebody? You're just making that a bigger insecurity. They already know they don't like their size. Like, I could go on and on, but I'm not trying to go on and on. But it's just like little things like that. And so they would have screaming matches the whole night. It was screaming matches. Mind y'all, I don't do well under pressure. I don't do well with screaming. I hate people screaming. I hate screaming. Like, it's a trigger for me because, like, when my mama was raising me, she would always scream at me if I did something wrong. And I don't like screaming because it would make me cry. Like, I don't like screaming. Like, I hate screaming. It just makes me tear up. It gets me anxious. I don't know if that's a trauma response. I need to go to a therapist with that type of stuff. But, like, that's like, I guess, a trauma response, basically, that I would just immediately curl up and I would start crying. And, like, I would just, you know, sit over here. I was like, can I just sit over here and hit you, like, you know, your pup pass or whatever? This is my first ever time hitting a pup passer or whatever, right? I hit the pup passer, mind you, I'm like zooted, right? And they're screaming and screaming and screaming. All I could do was cry. I just started crying because I'm like, I would never ever be able to get screamed at again by my mother. And this is what life is. I feel so bad for these kids. I really do. I feel bad for kids whose parents scream at them. I wouldn't want my child to go through that. I wouldn't want my child to be screamed at. That's why I don't want kids right now, because I'm not even in the right mental space to have kids. And people are bringing kids in so young. Close your legs. Close your gosh darn legs. Lord, I'm sorry. But like, if you're not mentally prepared to have kids, if you don't have a roof over your head, your own roof, if you don't got your own job, if you don't got your own vehicle, why are you having kids? I don't understand that. These people are bringing kids in. These people are bringing this other childhood trauma onto their children, and they're bringing this generational curses to their children and just getting passed down and passed down and passed down. I don't want that for my family. I don't want that. And that's what me and my brothers now sworn that we're going to try to break that curse. I'm trying my hardest to build a relationship with my siblings. I do love them, but I just feel like at the same time, it's very hard for me to open up because I'm transgender and I'm black and I'm trans. And I'm a different type of trans person. I'm a different type of person in general. It's very hard for me to open up to people because I feel like every time I open up to people, like, I feel like I just, you know, come off as very just out of this world. Like I'm a very different person. I'm not who you think I am, basically. Like if I was to sit over here and express and tell y'all everything about me, you people would gag. You people would be like, dang, like, girl, what's going on? You get what I mean? Like I've lived a life, and it's hard for me to open up to people because I feel like every time I open up to people, it gets thrown back in my face. It used to get thrown back in my face when I was little. Every time I would sit over here and tell my, mother that, I want to sit over here and, like, I want to sit over here and do this with myself. She'll be like, I don't know. I just like, it's just little stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Me and my mother had a very rocky relationship. Don't get me wrong. But I do remember the positives. I remember the one thing she always told me is that I'm very beautiful. I remember this so vividly. I was crying and I was basically like, I was tearing up because I was looking in the mirror when we were getting ready to go somewhere. And I was like, I look so ugly. Like, this is just not giving. And she's like, you need to stop calling yourself ugly. And I was like, well, look at my skin. Look at my face. I'm so black. I'm so ugly. And she was just so taken aback. Like, I say this a lot. A lot of people don't understand being a black, dark-skinned trans woman in a white town, in a white state, in a white country. Like, this people, like, it's just so hard to me. And I don't mean to like sit over here and like have this whole video like self-hate, but like I want to bring this to light because like, well, I was taught and I was raised that, like when I was around these kids, like these kids were calling me black. These kids were saying that I'm a dark monkey and stuff like that, and I'm just a just calling me all types of names. So that brought insecurities with me. Even my own black friends would call me black and call me monkeys and call me all types of things. And my auntie used to do the same thing. She would be like, "Ooh, girl, your son's so damn black." It's like, girl, oh my goodness. Lord Jesus, I don't even want to get into it. Just makes me so mad. But I don't know though. I remember she told me that I'm very beautiful and I need to stop saying that. She told me that I'm a creation of her, and she says if you're ugly, then I'm ugly, and I know I'm not ugly, so you're not ugly. And she also said that you're very beautiful. Even though I don't agree with everything that you do, I love you, and I'm going to be your guardian angel when I die. I'm going to always be here for you, and I love you, and I think that you're just so beautiful in your own way, and that's what makes you you. And that stuck with me because it's like, now I always say this to y'all, like, you're beautiful in your own way. It doesn't matter if somebody doesn't like you. It doesn't matter if people don't sit over here and see that you're beautiful. It doesn't matter if people don't freaking like you for you. And it's hard to sit over here and not care about what people think about you because we live in an artificial world. We live in a world where people only care about looks and people only care about certain things. And I try not to get infatuated. I try not to get, stuck in to that mindset, but it's like, it's hard. It's very hard. I love myself, and I'm trying to break this generational curse of the toxic mindset, the non-communication skills. I love hearing people out. I love experiencing new things in life. That's the main reason why I left my toxic family back in the, day or whatever. I let them alone, girl. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm grown. I got motion. I got stuff to do. I got savings. I can finally say for myself that I have something going for myself. I have a savings account. I have my own place. I've been here for a year and I haven't missed the payment yet. Let's give myself a round of applause. Alizea, I think you're very beautiful. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. I know you're going to do this. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for myself. I'm grateful for myself to be able to get up out of there. Because I feel like a lot of people don't know how to leave their toxic households. And I feel like a lot of people don't know what to do because they're just stuck. I want a lot of people to understand that you're going to have to learn how to save. You're going to have to learn how to shut up. And I don't mean to say this hostile. I'm telling you the truth. I had to suck up to my auntie. I had to suck up to my mama. I had to suck up to my family and friends and all these people. I had to suck my feelings up, and I just had to push through. You're going to have to learn how to let go of some old ties, some old people, some old relationships, some friends and stuff like that. Your main goal is to save. Your main goal is to get up and get out of there. You don't need the most expensive stuff. You don't need all this stuff. And I might do a video on how to get a job as a, queer person, because, girl, I'm not going to lie, it's hard to, get a job as a queer person, girl. And I know hands-on, girl. I'm a whole, T-girl, get up into the game and so whatever, bada bing, bada boom. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy separating yourself from your toxic family. It's not. I'm glad I did, because my auntie and my granny really have a lot of things that they did to me that traumatized me. I'm not going to lie. They traumatized me. Because I remember, this is the last thing I'm going to say. I remember me and my auntie got into our argument or whatever, right? And mind you, it was wintertime or whatever, right? And she kicked me out the house or whatever, right? And she called me an F slur. She said, I don't want no F slurs living in my household. You can get your F slur and something out of my house if you want to do that type of stuff or whatever, right? She kicked me out or whatever, right? And I had to sleep at the park with no blanket, no shirt. Like, I had nothing on. I just had a shirt. I had shorts on, and I was just in the freezing cold on the bench crying myself to sleep. Mind you, I was sleeping next to a homeless person or whatever, right? It was just so bad. It was just so bad that night. And then I woke up the next morning or whatever, right? And I just got the courage. I walked up to the house or whatever. I was like, can I please come back in? Because I can't do this. I just said, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. I was the type of person to apologize. I used to be a people pleaser. I used to try to people please to people. I don't do that type of stuff anymore. I'm too grown for that, girl. You get what I mean? I know if I'm right, girl. No tea, no shade. But I say this a lot. Don't argue with your people even though they're wrong. Even though they're wrong, you know they're wrong. You just have to suck up to them, and you just have to keep grinding. If you're not paying no bills, you need to be grinding right now. You don't need to be sitting over here buying all this extra stuff. You don't need all that extra stuff. You don't need the 50-inch bust-down wigs. You don't need all this extra stuff. If your parents are being toxic and they're not letting you, if you know what I'm trying to say, like, if you're not paying no bills, save. That's all I got to say with this. I'm tired. I don't even want to go back into this trauma freaking nasty family. It was hard for me to even make this video, girl. It's going to be cut ghetto. But I love you guys. I'm tired. I've just been trying to push out this content for y'all because, I love y'all. But I got to go, girl. I love y'all. Bye, loves.